Hello everybody and welcome to the March Mixed Media YouTube Hop. I am super excited to share my project with you. I am going to be altering a light bulb. I love doing these. But before I get into the project, I wanted to let you guys know that all of the participants in the hop, the list is in the description box, as well as all of the giveaway details and all of that sort of thing, so be sure to check it out. Also, I have a supply list over on my website. If I can fit it in the description box, it will be there as well, but for sure it will be in a blog post over on my website at tiffanySolorio.com. So if you are wondering about any of the supplies, you can check them out there. But be sure to check out the description box for all of the sponsors, the lovely sponsors that have graciously donated prizes, and all of the participants. Make sure to visit each channel. And be sure to give this video a thumbs up and leave me a comment on my video as well as all of the other videos. And be sure to subscribe to all of the channels as well. Alright, so I started out with the light bulb, and I got this at Hobby Lobby, and I painted it with some white gesso, and I believe I did 2 coats. And now I am adding some crackle paste. I ran out of white crackle paste, so I am using what I have. I have some gold crackle paste. I do have some clear crackle paste, but I wanted to give the gold a try. I knew I was going to cover it up, so I wasn't really worried about it being gold. Although it is very pretty. It's very pretty gold color, but for my project I wanted it to be white, and I am again brushing on the crackle paste, and I'm trying to do some thin in some areas and thicker in a little bit other areas. This does not give the best cracks. My favorite to use is the white crackle paste. I'm out of the white crackle paste, and at the moment it's sold out almost everywhere. I can't find it anywhere, but I did hear that they had to find another place for it to be made, so hopefully soon it will be back in stock and I can get some more. And I'm definitely going to get I don't know, like 10 bottles or something, or just so I don't run out again. I use it on everything, but like I said, the gold crackle paste is okay. I just don't get the cracks that I like. I like the white crackle paste the best. All right, so after that dried, I am now adding a coat of gesso, and I did run out of gesso, as you could see, and I think I added 2 coats of gesso, and then again I let that dry, and now I'm going to be adding some white sand paste. This is another Finnabair product, and I actually really never use it, so I found it in one of my bins, and I thought I'd give it a try just to give the bottle a little bit more texture and interest. Alright, so the small tubes of the paste, I believe, came from Michael's. I think they were carrying some, I'm not exactly sure if they still are, but I know that they were carrying a pack of white gesso, black gesso, some modeling paste, white sand, and some sort of matte gel or soft gel or something like that. I'm hoping that you could still get them at Michael's, that way you can use a coupon, but if not and you're wanting some of the white sand paste, you can pick it up online somewhere. Alright, so I am adding some paper paste, and I'm actually really loving this. At first I wasn't too sure about it, but now I actually really like it. Almost as much as a light and fluffy paste from the Crafter's Workshop. Not as much, but it's definitely gives really cool effects when you add color to it, because it is paper paste. The color soaks in really cool or really nicely, and it looks really cool. So definitely, if you can pick this stuff up, it's really nice. All right, so I attempted to add some different texture with the stencil, but as you could see, it was a little bit hard. So I'm just adding the paper paste on with the silicone brush, And now I'm just adding, or I'm painting the embellishments that I'm going to be using with some white gesso. So I just have some random things. I keep this bin of just randomness, and I have all kinds of things in there. And when I'm making projects like this where I'm going to be covering all of the embellishments up with gesso or paint, I like to try to go there first before opening up another package. That way I don't feel bad if I'm using something that is, because things are expensive. So I have, as you could see, I have this screw. I don't think I ended up using it, but I wanted to. You can use bottle caps. You can use all sorts of different things that you have around the house. You definitely don't have to use name brand stuff. That's why, or I say that all the time, that you do not have to use Prima stuff or Finnabair stuff. You can use anything that you have in your junk drawers, computer parts. You can take apart a watch, all sorts of different things that you can use on projects like this, and they end up looking really cool. All right, so I am using some soft matte gel to adhere all of my embellishments. That way I know that when it's dry, it's stuck on there. I do recommend maybe some heavy body gel. Mine had dried up on me, which I was very sad about because it is pretty expensive, but the soft matte gel works pretty good as well. So I am just adding the little frame there, and then I added the bottle caps, which are from Prima, but you could definitely get these I think at Hobby Lobby, and you can use anything that you have in your stash. And then the star, I don't recall where I got them. I think I got them in a package from Etsy or eBay, and it's just like a little plastic star. And now I'm adding some of that soft matte gel so that I can add some of the art stones. So I'm using the mini art stones, and then I will mix together some of the soft matte gel and some of the regular art stones. Right now I'm just kind of sprinkling on some of the mini art stones. That way I'm not making a big mess if I pour them on. And I really don't like to mix the gel with the art stones because it takes away from a lot of that texture you'll get if you just kind of sprinkle them on or kind of press them in a really thick coat of the gel. And that's my favorite way of doing it. But because this project or this bottle was just so weird to work with, I ended up having to mix it together with the gel and then adding it that way. And I tried not to mix it too much so that I could get a lot of that texture in the end. All right, so you see me here using or reusing some of the packaging from the Art Alchemy wax, and I used the soft gel, and again you can use matte gel, multi-medium, anything that is going to kind of mix together and adhere those art stones together and on your project. And then I'm just using the paintbrush right now. I do end up using my fingers, but I'm just kind of trying to put them randomly on the project here. And then you'll see me in just a second kind of give up on that paintbrush and just dive in with my fingers and kind of press them where I want them. And it's definitely easier. It's messy, but it's easier to do it that way. And I don't really mind getting my hands dirty, as you could see. But I really like how the art stones look in the end. I love adding them to all sorts of different projects. It adds such nice texture and dimension. All right, so I am now adding some seashells. I wanted something different for this project, and this is what I had in my stash, so that's what I'm using. And I believe these came from Amazon, I think. I think you can get some at Hobby Lobby or Michael's, and they work perfectly fine. I know some people worry about the ocean and things like that. And I do too, but I mean, I already bought them, so I am going to use them. But anyways, I let that dry, and then now I'm going to add some gesso. As you could see, I got my gesso from Amazon, and I was pleasantly surprised to see that the packaging and the label has changed. Very nice change. So I am just going to add a nice coat of gesso to all of the art stones, and because the white sand paste has, I think they use like a gel in it, so it's a little bit shiny, and I wanted it to not be, so I'm adding the gesso to kind of prep all of that when for when I add the color. I didn't know at this particular point if I was going to be adding sprays or acrylic paint or Ken Oliver color burst sprays or what, but I like to just make sure that everything is prepped so that I don't have any issues when I go in with whatever color I choose to use for the project at that point. All right, I cut out a lot of the painting and a lot of when the bottle is standing up, when I have to look at it from you know, when it's facing me, only because it's a little bit boring for you guys. So I tried my best to keep it at this angle so you guys can see, but it was hard at sometimes to not stand it straight up and look at it straight. So I am now adding some Impasto paint. And the color that I am using is my new obsession, and it is Manor Blue. It is super, super pretty. It's almost, the best way I can describe it is like a dusty blue. It is very, very pretty color. And I am kind of watering it down a little bit and kind of brushing it on where I want the color to be. I didn't want this to be completely blue, but I did want it to have a blue undertone. I am going to be brushing on some white gesso over all of the textures and embellishments later on, but I wanted it to be blue in the background, if that makes sense. So again, I'm not adding blue to the whole project, just where I want some of that blue color to show up. And as you could see, I am adding some water and letting it drip a little bit, and just kind of brushing it on with a paintbrush. And the paintbrush does have a little bit of water on it. And the water helps the acrylic paint not dry up so quickly. And at this point, I wanted a little bit more depth to the project, so I decided to add a little bit of black. And I did water it down quite a bit and mix it in with that blue, but it still was pretty dark. A little bit darker than I anticipated on using, but in the end, I love the project, how it turned out. So I added the black with that paintbrush, and now I'm just adding a little bit more water to kind of water it down, and so it's not so dark. And I'm trying to get in all of those crevices, and so that all of the embellishments kind of stand out a little bit more once I add the white gesso. So I am trying to get in all of where the art stones are, and in all of that texture, so that it kind of seeps in and gives the project a little bit more depth and dimension. And now I'm going in and painting more blue and watering it down. This is definitely a process that you just have to kind of be patient and just continue to layer and take away, add some more. It's just, again, it's a process that you really have to be patient with. So I am adding more blue, and then you could see I'm kind of dabbing up all of those areas where it's kind of dripping down. I didn't want it to be drippy. I just painted on a little bit more of that Manor blue, and I think the black that was still on my brush made it a little bit darker, and I actually liked that. So in the end, I think it really added something to the project. All right, so now I'm going back in. So, well, first, I'm getting ahead of myself. I dried it, and then now I'm going back in again with more blue, so that I can lighten up that black that I added to the project. And I have my paper towel here and just kind of blotching things up if it gets to be too much on there, and taking away some of that blue if I need to. I wanted it to blend out really nicely, and you guys probably hear me say the same things over and over and over again, because I do honestly do the same process for most all of my projects, especially mixed media projects. I love having my color blend out really nicely as best as I can. I don't like harsh lines on my projects, so again, I like when the colors blend really nicely together. All right, so I let that dry, and now I'm going in with some more blue. Again, it's just layers on layers, and just getting a result that you like. And at this point, if I ended up not liking it, I could definitely just repaint it with some white gesso or even black gesso if I wanted to go that route. But I wanted it to be sort of like a light blue in the back and then the white on top. So I'm just kind of getting in all of those crevices. I think I was trying to cover up a lot of that black that I added earlier, and I think I achieved that. But in the end, I do end up adding a little bit of a little bit darker color to give the project a little bit more dimension. All right, now I'm adding some white gesso, and my brush is not wet like with water, and I barely add any gesso on there. It looks like there's a lot, but there really isn't. And this way I can get that really nice dry brush look, as you could see here. And to achieve this, it's really easy. What I like to do is start with a dry brush. Like I said, you don't want it to be or to have water on it or anything, and you don't want a lot of gesso on your paintbrush. But if you do, you could definitely brush some off on a paper towel, which you'll see me do a few times, I think. And then that way, like I said, you get very minimal gesso on your project, and you just lightly brush over all of those embellishments and all of that texture, and then it will highlight all of those wonderful textures on the project. And I'm trying to get in where those seashells are. They're just being a little bit stubborn, but I really like how this looks. I love this almost like a winter wonderland look. It's very pretty. I love the blue. And I do end up painting a little bit thicker on the back because I wanted it to be white on the back. So I'm trying to cover up all of those drippy lines and all of that on the back of the bottle. But where all of those textures are, I just barely brush over the top of the embellishments. All right, to add even more texture and interest to the project, I am adding some splatters with the Picket Fence Distress Spray, and I love using this spray to add splatters to my projects. And then I am going to take some glass glitter and some micro beads. I think the glass glitter is from Renee's Bouquet or Boutique, and the micro beads are another product that you can get at Michael's, or you could get at Michael's, because part of the YouTube hop is, I believe it's like sparkly spring, although my project really isn't that spring-like, but I wanted to add a little bit of sparkle to the project, so I'm just adding some glass glitter. And as you guys know, I don't really care for glitter that much, or sparkly or shiny anything, so I was really trying my hardest to figure out what I was going to do to add that to my project. All right, so I am taking the mixture of the 3D or the soft matte gel and the micro beads and the glass glitter and just pressing it on where I want the glitter to be. And it is a little bit hard to see on camera and in the photo, definitely hard to see, but it is there, and in person you can see the glass glitter and it's really, really pretty. And if you want even more glitter to show, you can definitely add the matte gel first and then just kind of press it in where you want it. All right, I did, like I said, I added a darker color, and I actually kind of liked the project without the darker color after watching this video back, but it is what it is. I finished the project, and I do like the project, but the darker color just gave it more depth and dimension. So I wanted to highlight all of those areas again with the gesso, and again I am basically dry brushing on the gesso where I want it, and it just picks up all of those textures and all of like the art stones and all, you know, whatever else I added, the seashells, the frame, and I added a little resin bee or bug type of thing on there as well. And as you could see here, here is my project, and I love how it turned out. And that is going to complete my project for this hop. Please give this video a thumbs up. Be sure to check out all of the other participants in the hop, and be sure to leave a comment down below for a chance to win one of the prizes. And here is your next stop, so be sure to head on over there. And if you are new to my channel, please subscribe and hit that bell notification so you're notified every time that I upload. And I do go live every Wednesday at 10 a.m. Pacific time. And I want to thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys later.